Came up young, glove in my hand, dirt on my cleats, yeah, way before I had a fan. Late nights, cage lights, perfecting my stance. Got a dream in my heart, I ain't leaving the chance.
You're listening to the Don't Suck Life, Family, and Softball podcast with your host, Ronald.
Come on, just throw a strike!
And Madison Smith.
If only it was that easy.
It's that easy! What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Don't Suck podcast. I've got my daughter, Madison.
Hey, guys.
And our producer, Claudia.
Hey, y'all.
And we're ready to get it kicked off. We're in season 2 now. As you see, we are in the studio. And we are at the home of the Don't Suck podcast at the Airport Schillinger Self-Storage. So we're very thankful for them. And, they've kind of given us this opportunity to be able to go live, have a little studio, and now be on YouTube. So thank you to them. And look, if you're looking for a storage, check them out. Be very, very grateful if y'all did. So what y'all got? Y'all nervous? Y'all look a little nervous.
No, you're just staring at us.
Y'all want to go ahead and tell them our Don't Suck moment of the week, or do y'all want us just to act like it?
Yes, let's tell them.
What, is it the Don't Suck moment of the week, or is it
the sucky moment?
The you suck moment.
Yeah, we videoed our whole entire podcast yesterday, start to finish, everything, and then turns out our video was buffering.
Something was going on with the video, so we couldn't get it to line up, but
our voices weren't lining up with what we were saying at the time.
Once we did line it up, as you got 3 minutes in the video, it started buffering. Something happened, so
it sucked.
And here we are redoing it.
But one good thing about it is maybe we're not so nervous today.
Yeah.
Something else I want to discuss with y'all is work sucks. I hate work.
I can smell your feet.
I don't know if I want to ever go to work and then come shoot. It's kind of stressful.
Yeah, it is, because it's like work after work.
Yeah. And Claudia got on me last night because it was 10 o'clock, and I was like, hey, we need to do this. She's like, dude.
Quit calling me.
Quit bothering me about the podcast. This can wait till tomorrow. So.
Oh, yeah.
And then having to go to work 8 hours, 9 hours. I've been up since 3:30 this morning. So.
Yeah.
And then Madison had a pitching lesson today. And Claudia had work also. So.
Yep.
But, hey, maybe one day one of y'all could make us not have to go to work anymore. So if you were interested in having the y'all spot, we would really appreciate that too. And
for sure.
But look, Claudia, how about you go and kick us off this week with our quick pitch questions?
Yeah, let's get into it. How do you handle anxiety or stress?
For me, when I feel anxious or stressed, I usually feel better when I talk to somebody about it. Sometimes that doesn't feel like the best thing to do, but once I do talk to somebody and they can help me to understand my own feelings, it makes me feel a lot better about myself and the situations.
What about you, Claudia?
I love to bottle it all in, but after a while I get tired of holding it in, so then I just splurge on somebody. So yeah, that's just how I handle it.
I mean, my anxiety or stress, most issues I've always kind of just dealt with it on my own. I've never went to somebody else typically. If I do go to someone else, I am very stressed. I should probably seek a doctor in that moment. When I get that way, in that moment, I'd be panicking. So
yeah. How do you stay motivated?
Well, I mean, you want me to answer? You want to go?
Oh, you can go.
I mean, for me, it's just knowing what the big picture is.
Yeah.
No matter what's in the way, and
for sure, it's
not. Motivation. It is big picture. What's your drive? What's your reason? So.
Yeah, knowing what the turnout is going to be, it really keeps me going, Yeah. Knowing.
I'd have to say the same.
Yeah, no matter what it is, if it's something softball related or cleaning or anything, just knowing what the end result is going to be makes me feel a lot more motivated.
Or podcasts, it's what's the dream of this?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it started off as a dining room table, which we're kind of still on, but hey, let's talk about your game stats after a game or after a week. But now it's hey, what about if we get here? You know, and now we talk about the real big pictures. That's really the motivation today.
Yes, 100%. I agree. Have you ever pretended to text just to avoid talking to someone? Okay, I've done this, and it's always someone that I don't particularly want to talk to at the moment. So I'll just kind of go my own way. I'll text and walk away.
I've done it plenty of times.
I've never done that.
Have you never seen things where people are this is the equivalent to scrolling on the Weather Channel when you're in an uncomfortable situation?
Yeah.
No,
Never.
I mean, I love people, like
Yeah.
in general.
And you just love to talk.
I will tell you something happened today at work. I was like kind of dead set. I'd been running all morning, like had things to get done, and somebody had opened the door, like was coming out of a door. I was coming up the stairs, and they held the door open for me, which generally be like, hey, thanks, man. Even though it's kind of awkward,
Yeah.
like, I don't need you to hold the door because I'm
Yeah.
still like that little ways away, and I just walked by. My head was like so centered on like I gotta get this done. I gotta get this. So I got like I don't know 5 foot in the doorway. I was like, you idiot, man! Like why are you so rude? So I turned. I was like, hey. Thank you for opening the door, man. I apologize so much. But he's like, I got it. He said, as soon as I seen your eyes, I seen you were set on something. So
Yeah.
I've never done that, though.
I definitely have.
I have. I'm guilty.
Would you do it to somebody like you care about?
No, it wouldn't be anybody you care about. It's more so like, say you're running in for a few groceries and you don't feel like talking to somebody for 30 minutes.
Like,
Yeah.
like you see Leanne from 3rd grade.
Yes.
Or
And
like
you don't want to catch up for those, you know, 15
or like you know
years.
it's going to be an awkward situation. So you're like, I'm just going to pretend
Yeah.
I don't even know you're here.
Let me tell you all about awkward situation in that situation is when you see someone that you haven't talked to in 10 years, but you'd be like, oh my God, how is Johnny doing? Like, because you see all their life on Facebook, so you feel like
Oh,
you're
yeah,
still close
like
with
you
them.
still know them.
I've
Yeah.
done that before.
Like, I'm guilty of, I hope my students don't see this, but I've seen, like, multiple students of mine, like, and I don't say anything to them because, I mean, I see you all the time at school,
Yeah.
like, at work. So, you know, I just don't really interact. Unless, now, if they come up to me, I will. But, like, I'm not going to go out of my way to,
Yeah,
you know.
to say hey.
So, what feels worse, booting a ground ball or missing a sign?
That's a tough one because booting a ground ball sucks, but when you miss a sign in like in really important situation and your coach calls you out or like they know about it, it really sucks.
All right, I can deal with missing.
I can too.
Internally, like I
Yeah.
can deal with that because nobody else knows.
Nobody else knows.
Like, nobody in the stands
They
knows.
do when they call you out.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I get what you're saying, but then I don't know. If I boot a ball, that is
dude,
that
that's so embarrassing.
feeling that goes over your body. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It's like, gosh, what a fool.
It's like it's the same. It's like cutting somebody off in traffic, and it's your fault, and then you have to see them at the
Yeah.
next red light. It's
yeah,
like that.
that's the worst.
Everybody knows you're an idiot. You know,
Yeah.
you messed
Yeah,
up.
makes sense.
I'd have to say booting a ground ball for sure. Like, that's so embarrassing because everybody out in the stands just saw what you did. You know what you did. Your team
Yeah.
knows what you did, and it's like, ugh.
Imagine that college coach watching you. play
Oh
ball.
my
And
gosh.
That's what's important too. Is
Yeah,
like how do you handle it?
yeah, true.
Because in your head, you're like, oh my gosh, you suck. I can't play this game anymore. I'm terrible. But then you got to be like, you know what? It's okay.
And like, yeah.
Well, I remember like I don't know who it was. I want to say somebody down in Florida, but it was a girl who played softball. And she had like her worst game ever, like in her head, and she said her dad was like chewing her out like after the game, like you had this coach here and la da da da, and you screwed it up, and you're never gonna get this. And then the coach talked to her like right after that and said, "We're so thankful like to see how you reacted. Like we want to offer you a spot on the team
Wow.
because like we knew you were struggling, but it was like your attitude and how
Yeah.
you carried yourself was still good."
It matters.
Yeah, I have to see if I can pull it up.
Always.
It was cool.
Yeah. What's the wildest excuse you've heard for missing practice?
I've heard plenty of them.
Yeah,
I'm
I've heard
not
a
sure what
lot
the wildest would be,
too.
but I've heard
Yeah.
lots and lots.
I mean, I don't know about like wildest excuse, but I think the most embarrassing thing you could do is like have an excuse to not be at practice, but then people there know that you're lying about that.
Or
Like,
like you're
know where you
posting
are.
on social media
Yeah, oh my
that I
gosh,
see
that's
happen
awful.
so often.
And like not even just practice, but just lying about little things like, hey, you want to go here? And you're like, oh no, I'm going to my grandmother's house. And then you're posting that you're like at the beach.
At the beach or
with,
doing
like,
something, yeah.
yeah. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. What's your favorite thing to do on a day off?
Go to the beach, tan, go shopping.
Well, my day starts at like 3:30, so anytime I have a day off, I am sleeping in. And I love going to softball games too. I mean, that's
Yeah.
typically
Yeah.
our days off. But if I don't have to be somewhere like soon, we are sleeping in. When we were at Alabama State games, like that was the thing. I was like, I'm not getting up at 7. So
My sleeping in is 7, so
Yeah.
7:30. I cannot sleep past that point. So I would have to say like sleeping in, which is my 7:30. And just chilling.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, like if I have absolutely nothing to do, like I'm probably just gonna lay down and watch TV all day. But that never happens.
I don't mind
So
that.
I've
on the off
recently-
chance, and normally it's only on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I've recently learned that I think because you're such like a homebody person that I've started being like that too. Like I don't want to leave the house a lot
Well-
of times, or like whenever we like make decisions, like, do you want to eat at home or go somewhere to eat? I'm like, let's just eat at home.
You know, I traveled for 12 years, and I hated, like, coming in town and then the next day, like, we're going to the beach, we're going to do this,
Yeah.
we're doing that. Like, I just want to be home. Like, that, I think that's what made me more of a homebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Well, you know, for me, I just want to be remembered as, like, someone who always showed up, always cared, like, always was there when I could be, you know, and then it has changed. Like, I used to want to be known as, like, a hard worker and this and that, but, you know, I kind of thought about that a little bit more even today. What really would it benefit me now at my stage of somebody being like, that dude's a tough worker, like a hard worker, just in general? So
I think being a hard worker, it says a lot about a person, though.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't want that to define, like, who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I want, like, I read a billboard that said the only people who remember that you worked overtime, you know, was in 20 years is your kids or your family. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want that to be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to say, like, hard worker for me, which obviously I'm single and don't have any kids, so I can't really say that can't be my, like,
Yeah.
legacy.
No, I mean, but
At the moment, I mean, eventually I'll probably have a kid.
But it's like last night, like when I was texting you, like, hey, I want to do this or I want to do that or this podcast. I took, like, when you said, hey, yo, it's like, chill out. Like, it's
10 o'clock at
you know?
night.
But then and part of me was like, I don't want to be that guy. But in my situation, as far as like, this is our thing right here.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to be known for that to my, like, team, you know, like, hey, I'm putting in everything I can, or, you know, and
In which we know that you don't have to work at 10
I
o'clock
know.
at night. We all know that we all work really hard on it.
but
So
it's still like that part of that legacy is fine. But my legacy being that I worked hard for another man to buy.
Oh,
his
for
boat
sure.
and to buy
Yeah,
his car and all.
that's a lot different.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy anymore.
for sure.
Yeah,
When you're working for yourself, it's a lot more rewarding. So
absolutely.
And yeah, I think that would be my biggest thing is, I guess, hard worker right now. And maybe that, like,
Well, I mean, we've talked about this even like on your episode, but I mean, who you've become, like what you've done to get where you're at in the last year and a half is like,
Yeah.
it's incredible on its own, you know?
Yeah.
Like you have
and also, like, the people around me, they know that I love really hard. I don't show that to everybody.
yeah.
I don't.
But now you have your own identity,
Yeah,
and that's empowering.
for sure. What's the most controversial thing you believe in?
Well, for me, we've already talked about it, but definitely Helen Keller. And I meant to look it up yesterday, and I forgot.
Look,
But-
I actually looked into a Helen Keller thing, and Helen Keller, they said that because when y'all told me this, it blew my mind. But what I had seen was that her caretaker may have been the one behind all of the things that she did.
Yeah, and
people
I don't
think
doubt it.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, like, and I don't doubt it.
Because it's very hard to believe.
Yes,
Like-
and like they're saying she flew a plane and she lived her life. Like, you're living your life in silence and this. Like, if you close your eyes right now, I don't know what blind people see.
They
You
see
close
nothing.
your eyes right now and you're
They see
looking.
absolutely-
I
they don't even
disagree
see
with that.
darkness.
I
They see
see
nothing.
like reddish black.
Yeah, I disagree with all of that though, because the thing is, like, when you lose like one of your senses, like, you get stronger in something else.
But she's lost two. All she can do is smell, taste, and feel.
Yeah, but think about this, like, I can't smell anymore because I have sinus issues. I haven't been able to smell in 10 years. But my taste buds are good.
They're working overtime, I
They're, like,
guess.
Superb. I mean, can we agree?
Sure,
Okay.
if you want us to.
See?
Oh
But
my
yes,
gosh.
I believe that either she was faking it.
All right, for that, then I want you, in this season, I want you to I want you to do a real report on what you really believe.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
we might get canceled over Helen
Okay.
Keller thing.
Like, I can just sit here for a podcast and pretend to be
But
her. I'll
when
have
you
like
said that, like, the first time, people were like, I'm totally on board with Madison.
No, everybody agrees. Everybody
you gotta-
agrees.
Yeah, like, okay, maybe you don't want to go on TikTok, but if you look it up on TikTok, you'll find bunches of videos about it.
Yeah.
I have to check it out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's, well, I mean,
I'm pretty passionate about it,
my
actually.
biggest thing is something controversial for me that is I don't believe anything the news ever told me. Like, I don't believe 9/11 happened the way it did. Like, anything. I always think, like, it's inside jobs.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, they tell you not to talk about that stuff in public, but I just, I refuse to believe it was on TV. I posted a video just a couple weeks ago on my personal Facebook page of AI, and it was like some news reporter, and she's like, "We're reporting live from Los Angeles," like, and behind her is like asteroids and spaceships. She's like, "I'm just kidding. I'm AI."
Yeah,
the AI
looks
these
so
days
real
are
and
getting
scary.
unreal. Like,
And they're of everything. Like,
the softball.
Yes,
there's softball AI.
and it'll be like, my mom told me if I don't hit the ball, whatever, and then it's just
all over our Don't Suck TikTok.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fake?
That's fake.
Yes, that's all fake.
I'll have to show you some
I wanna
videos.
see
We'll go.
this.
We'll go through it because I feel like you'd be the type to believe it.
Well, AI is scary. We use AI when we load our podcast up. We use AI to listen to the podcast and then kind of break it down, do transcripts, and give us chapters and things like
Descriptions
that.
and stuff.
And then we go in there and change some stuff. Like they tell you, like, don't ever just stick there. So we'll go in there and change it. I use ChatGPT a good bit. Like when it comes,
Don't tell everybody our secrets.
Well, it's not like secrets, but like when it comes to kind of like game planning, like LLCs. Like ChatGPT is a very good starting point. It kind of gives me like, where do I need to go to with this, And then there's other stuff like for graphics, like doing shirt graphics. By the way, if you're listening tonight, I will post something, but we're going to do a shirt giveaway for our first season. I did the blackout with the drips. I know you've seen it.
Love it.
So, but a lot of that stuff we'll start there and like try to get not just ChatGPT, but other AI things and then build off of that.
Yeah.
So
I use AI for school too. I mean, not like just cheating, but to help me figure stuff out. Like, it's very helpful, but
it is
it's crazy.
scary.
It's scary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think as a tool, it's fine in some instances, but you can't trust it. Don't let it be the final, call. Like, always look over that stuff and don't be lazy with it. But it definitely helps with like trying to get your brain going.
Yeah.
Like the same thing, like when we talk about like having like a little business meetings and we're like, hey, bring 10 ideas here, do this. Like, that's a good place to start because it just helps your brain. Because most time, like anybody out there, if you went and posted right now, like, give me 10 shirt ideas based off softball, it's going to give you 10 very, very poor ideas.
Yeah.
But it gives you somewhere like to kind of start and say, ooh, I kind of like the idea of that or that layout there. So
yeah. What's the most challenging aspect of your sport?
Definitely just the mental side. I mean,
yes, totally agree.
You could be an amazing athlete physically and do all these crazy things, but if you're in your head or you just can't get over this thing mentally, like, I mean, that's going to stop you, and it's really hard to get over things like that because nobody really can help you except for you helping yourself,
Well, I mean, and again, we talked about that, last episode of season 1 was there's tons of hitting coaches, tons of pitching coaches, fielding coaches, none mindset.
Yeah.
I think Coach Barb has probably mentioned that this past week to someone. Like, Barb is your mindset coach, but it's still nobody's advertising that.
Yeah. And nobody else really can change your mind mentally but yourself. Like, you have to.
And you have to want to also. Like, if
Yeah.
you don't want to and you can't fit, it's just, there's a fine line there.
Well, talking about like the yips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about that earlier in the week about like the Auburn catcher. I mean, this girl's having to run the ball out of the pitcher every pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like just like a mental block.
And so I never dealt with that. Did you say that you dealt with that, or you knew someone who did?
I did. It was always when I would have to it would always be in like warm-ups, like just tossing the ball. Like, when you first start throwing, you're like super close and I'm like, I feel like I'm going to throw it over or I feel like I'm going to throw it at the ground. And then most times in practice, when I threw it like short like that, it was either hitting the ground or going over their head. So I would like lob it to them because I'm like, I'm trying so hard to not like
roll it back.
something. I mean, but other than that, like if it was in a play or anything, I mean, you're straight to the chest. Like,
For like a little point, I wouldn't necessarily call it the yips, but it was probably just something in my head. Do you remember this, Dad? Maybe in like, I was like 12, 13. Yeah. And we would be at practice, and I would be standing at first base. The catcher would be back there by home plate, and we'd just be taking defense. And I just could not throw it to her. Like, I would throw it. I would about hit the coach or, like, throw it over her head. I just could not throw it to her chest.
Yeah. Well,
it's a real thing.
Aiming is the worst thing you can do, and that's what you were trying to do then.
Yeah. So. I feel like when we don't think about it, it just goes perfect every time. So, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the biggest risk, but like in this situation now,
Yeah.
this was never meant to like be like a financial gain or nothing like that, but it is very financially, putting. We got $600 worth
Yeah.
of microphones, thousands of dollars worth of computers, cameras, lights, studio stuff, like little things like that. Like it all adds up, and there's a risk to like there's no reward to that. Which now I think we're seeing that there really is.
Yeah, for sure.
But on top of all that, you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Like something that I may say that's wrong, right now could, make you the way you look at me the rest of your life be incredibly, taxing to who I am. Or, we're open up to YouTube now. And, I mean, how many people went to the YouTube comment section and just read what people say? I mean,
people can be mean on the internet.
I jokingly tell Madison all the time, "You're ugly," But I mean, look at her. We look just alike. She just doesn't have a beard. But I don't mean, that's my daughter. That's my love language. I love to pick and play. But when one of y'all say it, I don't know how I'm going to handle that. But it's not so much me. Like, you can call me fat, skinny. I don't really care now. But I don't want my daughter to read something about her and it break her down. But you got to be tough. You got to be like you're in the circle. Actually, do me a favor, roast her. Well, remember that? What was that?
Build character, I guess.
Yeah, build character.
What's that talk show where they make those celebrities come on and read mean tweets about them?
No, I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
I always thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. The biggest risk I've ever taken was February 2024. If you know, you know. So.
Yeah.
And that is
Let me
it for our
think.
quick pitch.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could have had something cool like that to say.
Was that
Yeah,
cool?
that was
Yeah,
cool.
like-
that was like,
Yeah,
that
let
was
me-
Oh,
like
maybe we
another
should
level.
clip it.
What do you think?
February
What year were you,
2024.
what year were you born?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I'm not telling you.
No, don't tell him.
Okay.
Okay, do you even know the day? It's very special.
It's a day in December.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh
the
my
last
gosh.
day. Yeah, you were a $3,000 reward. I think that's what we made in taxes that year.
Do you make money?
Yeah, it was like if you have kids or something.
Yeah, when you have kids, you get money back.
Okay, guys,
the
I've never had a kid before,
And
so.
the cool thing
I
is,
haven't either.
And the cool thing is, we didn't have to pay for you nothing the year. So it was like you were born the last day, so I got to use you as a tax credit.
Wow, you're welcome.
I think I bought a ping pong table that year with your money.
Glad
Well,
I
look,
could
that
support.
does it for the quick pitch questions, Claudia.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Madison, kind of getting into like this season, like season 2. Season 2 will go all the way until next school ball season ends. So it's basically a whole year. We wanted to break it down that way. That way we could kind of track where it's at. One day Madison won't be here with us anymore. She'll be like off in college, and I'll have to bring up my next one. And
That's going to be wild.
yeah, and then I'll be trying to like adopt a kid just for the podcast. I hope to make this a career. I don't have to,
Well, after college, I'll come back.
No. The ultimate. Should I tell like a little bit of the ultimate goal, or just leave it be? Probably not. Huh?
I say leave it be.
Leave it be. But you're supposed
It's
to
between
speak,
us.
supposed to speak stuff into existence.
Okay, well then tell them.
Don't.
But, no, we'll do it off air.
Don't jinx.
But there's. I agree. I don't want to jinx nothing, but where we're headed to, like this past week, Alabama State games and things, and I mean it's awesome. It really is. So, but we won't be discussing week to week of Madison's like stats like during travel ball season, because there's no benefit to, like, we might go play 5-6 games, and she might pitch 4 innings, and I mean up to this point you've had an outstanding travel ball season,
and I mean, we don't play every single week, so it wouldn't really line up with our podcast anyways.
and you don't pitch every game and things.
Yeah.
It's the way it like switches around. But I think like up to this point you're probably hitting like 500 or better. You've pitched pretty great. I didn't get to make it to last week's games, but up in
Oxford?
Oxford,
We're about to go to Colorado.
I've missed that tournament every year in
Yeah.
Oxford. I really want to go up there for that. And like you said, you're about to go to Colorado.
You want to come? It's not too late. You can drive.
How many hours of driving is that? Like 27?
A day.
If
Oh my
somebody
gosh.
listening right now will rent me a camper, rent me the gas money, and pay my salary for 1 week, I'll go. So you better start begging.
Oh,
them.
gosh. Please. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you're not taking it. You're deciding to stay home.
I don't fly.
I don't fly either. I never flew in my life or flown or flied,
It
whatever
would
the
take
word
a
is.
horse tranquilizer to knock me down to get me on a plane.
I don't get why it's so scary, though.
It's not scary.
It's
I
really
just
not.
don't want to do it.
Oh, that's even worse. Stick to the you're scared.
Yeah, I'm scared.
That's so stupid.
I don't want to fly. I've always been terrified of it.
Yeah, one of our friends that's on our Bombers team, her sister was in, I don't know what country, but she was across the world in, like, Asia or something. Not like Asia. Well, maybe it was Asia. It was one of those continents over there. You know what I'm talking about? And she was in some country for some studying abroad thing, I think. And her mom was checking because she was on the way home when we were, I think, leaving. She was going like 500 and something miles an hour on the plane. And I was like, oh my gosh, how even does that work?
It's so smooth, though.
Yeah, but that's
Except
so
for
crazy.
when you hit turbulence, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
Hopefully that won't happen.
Well, since we're not really going to talk about that, there's some things I do want to cover. And like this week, I really want to talk about kind of like this whole college recruiting situation you're kind of going through right now. Mad's not one to ever just go out and talk to these coaches and chase them down. Like, it's not her personality. And truthfully, I don't think, like, for her, she doesn't feel like most coaches are approachable anyway.
Yeah, they don't seem scary, but they really seem like royalty. And then
I think that's more or less in your mind too.
probably,
you know.
But I feel like that's not really how we've been like taught, but that's kind of the way they've been like portrayed to us. Is you don't act like this around them. You act like this when they're there. You don't talk like this, and so then it's like, oh gosh, like I gotta be proper and have the best attitude and smile and say the right things.
And to that, one problem is, when these girls are 11, 12, 13 years old, you have coaches who act as if these college coaches are out there watching them.
Yeah,
like they're out there to recruit them, watch them. I've heard it from a lot of y'all, to be honest. And so change that mindset. They got to quit losing their mind and things at 12, 13. That's so much pressure on a kid.
I don't think when I was that age, I don't think I ever even seen what a college coach looked like in person. Like,
well, I remember a story of a girl who thought that somebody's grandfather was Oklahoma's head coach because they had the hat on, But that was a pressure that a coach and parent had put on this kid,
Yeah.
And so for Madison, we've just never always kind of identified that early on from having some, mentors and parents above me who said, hey, this doesn't matter at this stage. Like, get off these teams who are like chasing. Most teams now, travel teams, they don't develop, they recruit. That's what they do, and it's the same thing going on in like college softball or college football. All these different college. Anybody who's like given these big NIL deals and stuff now, like that's kind of what they're doing. They're no longer like building. They're no longer teaching you how to be a better pitcher. They're just going to recruit the next biggest one. Mm-hmm. So to say all that, it's mostly like we're Madison now. Our catch-22 to that is where Madison has never really had that exposure, like to go on to deal with coaches and talk to them. And
now I have to.
And now she has to. And, Mad, you said it last weekend to me. Your biggest problem is when you went to a certain coach last season.
Yeah.
And, well, tell us how that went.
Okay. So I guess you would say, like, our coach that talks to all the colleges at tournaments and stuff, his name's Coach David. And he had told me that there was this coach who had been watching, and he was like, I think you need to go talk to him. And I was like, okay, well, maybe more in a more shaky voice because I was a little nervous about that. And so I sat there for about 10, 15 minutes and talked to Coach David, and we went over the exact way this conversation was going to go. I knew exactly what that coach was going to say whenever I talked to him. Like, I had it all down in almost like we were acting out this play. And so I was sitting there pretending I was like, I'm Madison Smith, and I was like going back and forth with Coach David, and he was like, okay, I think he should go. And I was like, okay, because he was sitting by himself. So I finally work up the courage, and I walk over there, and I like, hey, Coach, I'm Madison Smith. I'm a 2027. And he turns around and looks at me. He goes, are you done for the day? I was like, no, sir. And he was like, okay, well, I can't talk to you until you're done. And my heart dropped, and I could feel my face just like get red because all these people were around here, and he just told me no. Like, he just told me I couldn't talk to him. So I turned around and I like looked at Coach David, and I was like, And I was walking back. He's like, what happened? And I was like, he said I couldn't talk to him. I was like, you just set me up for failure. Like, what is going
some
on?
of these coaches are old school.
Yeah, and he was like, well, he's probably a little more old school, and that's like an old rule, so I wasn't expecting him to say that. Sorry. And I was like, you better be sorry, because I'm embarrassed. So ever since then, I've kind of had like this thought in the back of my mind, like, what if they reject me? It's like somebody just saying no. And so that's like what's kind of worried me up until this point. So
Yeah.
Well, and that takes us, we were in Tupelo
yeah,
2 weeks ago, and Mad was pitching. It was drizzling a little bit, and I think the score was like 3-0, and Mad was kind of on fire. I mean, she might have been, at this point, she might have had, 7 to 8 strikeouts. She's hitting her spots, and a coach comes up and asked Kelly and said, hey, y'all have any player sheets? And so she said, well, it's been raining, so we didn't put any out. Let me get one from the coach. So she went and got one, gave it to the coach. Being someone who, like, comes from the game, I thought he's probably wanting to know who Madison is. I mean, here she is. She's pitching. She looks great. And so the game finally ends. Coach Gary takes y'all to the side, and Coach Gary likes to have a sermon over there with y'all.
Yeah.
The coach sits like over in the side, and he's like waiting, and then he looks down, he looks up, and then he just walks off to the next fields, and it's like a mile from us. So Madison comes out and said, hey, that coach wants to talk to you. And I said, I think we need to go over there, and you need to practice, you need to learn, you need to get over this. So all right. So we walked the whole
mile walk.
Yeah, she's like, Dad, what? I'm like, I just say hello. Like, you're probably never going to go to this college anyway. Like, use it as practice, like, go learn how to talk to these coaches. And so we get over there, and this coach, we come around the corner, he's just standing there. He's literally waiting for her to come say something, and she does this.
walked the complete other way.
And I'm like, get over there right now. Go talk.
He didn't stop. For like 2 hours, he told me to go talk to this coach.
Y'all hear that? 2 hours. And that is not,
and that's like,
no exaggeration.
yeah, and it was like drizzling out there, and we had like a 2-game break. And so we walked up there and we're like, okay, we're going to go talk to this coach, and then we'll go sit in the car or something. We didn't make it to the car. We sat out there the whole entire time because I wouldn't go talk to this dude.
Yeah, and then when she finally got the courage to come up, almost, her mom walks up and says, oh, I don't blame her. I wouldn't go over there and talk to him either. And I was like, don't enable this, So
God.
Here we are. It's like in the middle of the park. We're all having like a group powwow, trying to let anything get out.
And so, we're all like kind of frustrated with each other because one person's saying one thing and you don't want to do that, but then the other person's saying this, and you're like, just shut up.
And I've always, I want Madison, like, go embarrass yourself. Get it out of the way. Like, go learn. Like, that's the only way to do this. So, and it's Madison's recruiting season. Like, this is the time for her to get recruited. So you end up going to talk to another coach with your other coach, like one of your coaches.
Yeah.
And then this one coach, when she finally gets the courage back up to do it, like go talk to him again, it is, he's talking to other coaches.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, I'm not going over there at all. And so I'm like, Madison, just go over there and kind of stand on the side. He'll eventually see you and say, hey.
Yeah, which is so awkward. I don't
agree.
like.
It is awkward. I don't want over there. See, I just went over there and talked to all 4 of them.
Yes, but that's you. You're a guy. You're grown. You talk to
Yeah,
everybody.
it's totally different when you're a young girl and there's a bunch of male, way
Yes.
older coaches. Like,
Hey,
that's intimidating.
She could have used Aubrey's little thing. Hey, y'all want to
See my
skill?
talent? No, it's talent, not skill.
Oh,
We're not saying that on here.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that.
But so the coach finally did. Everybody's laid around like 14 hours.
Yeah,
because
because I think it was raining or something.
And so the coach has one moment of where there's no one around him. And I said, hey, he's alone. And she's like, oh, God. I said, go talk to this coach.
And he was saying about a trash can, and one of my friends on my team, Savannah, she had an empty Sonic cup in her hand, and I was like, okay, I gotta just act chill. So I took her cup, and I walked over there and threw it away, and then I turned and like looked at it as I threw it away.
How are you, man?
I didn't even see you there. But yeah, that was.
But it turned out to be like a 15-minute conversation. Y'all both laughed. He shared with you some good stuff, and like, I'm curious, like, how other girls deal with this. I know Addison Russell. I talked with her dad a couple weeks ago, and he was like, man, they're the same kid. Like, I don't know. As a coach, I wonder, like, what does a coach look for in that? Do you want a kid who's, like, real confident? I'm sure some coaches probably want a kid who's, like, real bolstering and loud and stuff. Me personally, I probably want a mixture of both.
Yeah.
I'd hate to have someone who's like very, very cocky too. Like,
Yeah, and like come on really strong.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the situation.
It's also kind of intimidating whenever you see, like, when you're at these tournaments and a coach that you are interested in talking to, and there's players going up to them and like giving them a hug like they really know them, and then it's like, I don't even know your name.
Yeah, you're
like,
Yeah.
hi, I'm Madison.
Yeah. And, you know, I see girls who, I mean, truthfully, like, I know a girl right now who doesn't have the skill. She's aware of this. But the coaches love her. And to me, that's probably a girl who gets on there. I remember someone last year, like, they were talking about, like, her one job, like, on that team was, like, basically be, like, the team captain in the dugout. And she was looking for a pitcher to show her pitches. Y'all remember this? I think she played for Oklahoma.
A pitcher to show her pitches?
Like, to show, like, if she's about to throw a curveball or...
Oh, like to read the...
Yep, to read that.
Okay.
And so and she picked up on one of them. She's like, I did my job. So, I mean, you want those kind of kids too. You know? But again, I am curious how girls out there and, like, as parents too, like, what do you do? Like, do you get frustrated with me? Because I am. I'm like, Madison, go put yourself out there. Go give it all you've got. This is your opportunity. Go.
And then
sell
I'm just
yourself.
like, if you don't stop talking to me right now, I'm going to punch you in the nose.
And then for me, I'm like, hey, if you don't go talk to them, I want to see if they want to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
And
But-
we do have a coach who's going to be coming on soon who gave you some advice last year about ways to, like, kind of communicate through email, some tips, because, you know, most of these emails are so repetitive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and especially like last year or a few months ago or whatever, when coaches really can't talk to you back, it's like I'm just emailing a wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I really hope they see it, and I'm going to have the mindset that they did see it and enjoyed my email, but who knows if they saw it.
You know, and I wonder too, like with we'll talk about this, like the NIL deals now. Like these coaches, like D1 level, D2, they may not even be looking at girls in high school anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, why would I want a kid in high school who hasn't really proven me nothing besides playing against, you know, high school talent when I could go out to the, you know, portal and get a kid who's played 2 years and.
I don't understand how all that stuff works.
Yeah, well, I wish we didn't have to worry about it. And then the girl from Texas Tech.
She's like a millionaire.
Yeah.
Najee Kennedy.
Yeah. And worth it, every bit of it.
Oh, yeah, she's so good. I love
Well,
watching
it's
her
not
play.
that. Like, you know, I do think NIL is killing sports. Like, because now I can just go out and get any kid I want.
Yeah.
And these kids are flopping and flopping, but there's no development. You know, Papa Jim was talking about that. Like, the NFL is actually looking at how some of these kids coming into them now are not as talented as what they were 10 years ago. Because there's nobody who is taking that player and saying, oh, you're a spin pitcher, I want to make you the best spin pitcher there is. Or, oh, you got this rise ball, let me really tune that in because you're going to jump from Stanford to Texas Tech. And it's no pin to her. I mean, I want her to go make her money. That's your opportunity. I mean, here we are. We're about to have an opportunity for you to be having, you know, I'm not saying that you're going to, but there's an opportunity that is out there, you know, if you become one of these top dogs.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't see $1 million something and not want to take it? Like,
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll spend $800 of yours, you know. I mean, I got podcast streams, dude. And my neck, who knows who I have to go out there and hire once I fire you when you go to college.
you're not firing me. I'm just going to take a small little leave, a vacation.
Small little leave.
Well,
A few seasons leave.
You
Yeah.
get to give me part of your percentages back.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
So let me ask you this: if we really made it like one day, and we're like, just say we're like gazillionaires, not millionaires, gazillionaires.
Okay.
Okay, that's wild.
In 2 years, when it's time to go to college, are you going to college? Or are you going to stay and be a podcaster?
Okay, actually, so I have thought about this, about me going to college. And it's not funny, guys.
Go, I'm all
Come on.
ears.
Yes, okay, so me going to college and the podcast will be a thing because I can't just miss out. So hopefully, okay, so in my mind, I do not want to go super far away for college. Like, I mean, I know you want me to go somewhere that's like not over the street. You know?
I've always told Madison to go as far as you can because you'll find out who loves you.
Yes, but also like I can't do that. So like
And what I mean by that is when you have someone, if you're 10 hours away from home and it's Thanksgiving and you can't come home, the people who invite you to come eat Thanksgiving, they really care about you.
yeah.
Like if you live in Mobile and I say, hey, lunch is at 11 on Thanksgiving Day, I don't have a choice but to invite you.
Yeah.
Like you're my kid. Not that I don't
Yeah.
love you, but I'm saying like some of your friends around here may not love you at that point. You'll find out what that
Yeah.
means one day.
But hopefully when I do go to college, it's like not more than like 3 hours away 4, maybe. I don't know. This just depends. But I can come home, like on the weekends or something, and we'll just do our podcast.
Well, if the podcast is that big, I'll probably have the private jet pick you up.
Okay.
Swing by.
Private
Good
jet.
idea.
We're flying?
I mean, I'm not flying.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will.
I'm driving everywhere.
No, let's just drive. Look, we can go scoop her up.
Yeah, we can. Oh my gosh, I have a great idea. How about because we'll be rich by then. So we just get a studio for where I go to college, and y'all will just make the drive up there. And then what's that face for?
Bro, if I'm rich, you think I'm going to come watch you play every weekend? I'm going to watch everybody play.
Okay, no, but you're going to come watch me
We'll
play
be on the
because I'm
road.
your daughter. When I get a time off, then that's when we'll all travel together and go watch somebody else. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we're not going to be rich by then. And all
Yes,
this,
we will.
but you would still go to college. You wouldn't be like your
yeah.
old man. You wouldn't drop out of high school.
Well, I'm already doing better than you, aren't I?
Please go to college.
Those airways will always know that you said that to me. That was recorded at 47.34. I'll timestamp
Okay,
that.
moving on.
Tough. Well, look, that's going to do it for that section. Like I said, we're not going to talk Madison stats every week. And, one thing, too. The pitcher from Ole Miss, the senior.
Oh,
Aaliyah
Aaliyah Benford. Yes. Walking in the winning run.
Her senior season.
Or the losing run
Yeah.
for her.
In
But
the
yeah.
10th inning, too. It was a good game.
Yeah, I remember
Man,
watching
that
it, and it was
sucks.
so long, too. But yeah, and her just, like, the amount of pressure that she probably felt on that pitch before.
When I watched the game that night, I just got home. I was watching it. It was late. And I remember thinking, like, oh, here's Madison. Like, this was Madison, like, in that moment. But I thought, like, well, I'm sure she's been there 100 times.
Yeah.
Which tells me, like, look, I mean, you can judge failure how you want to, but you may face that again one day.
Yeah. And when I saw it, I was thinking about me in 7th grade, and I was like,
yeah.
it's not the same stage, but it sure
Oh,
probably
I
it
bet
feels
that
the
stage,
same.
I bet the pressure on that,
know.
too.
So
And
much
that's
pressure.
back to the mental thing. Like,
Yep.
it's all mental because she's in her head, I've got to hit my spot, or she's going to hit it over, or I've got to throw a strike, or the game's over.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So
And then what about, like, if you're the hitter there, I think it was a 3-1 count.
I thought it was 3-2. Maybe it was. I don't remember.
I thought it was 3-1, and I don't know either. But if just say it's 3-1 count in that moment, are you watching one, or are you going to swing for the fences? Like, do you have any intention to swing?
No, I'm gonna be honest. If I had a 3-1 count,
in
bases
that
loaded,
situation, like imagine
I
the
would not
pressure on that
swing.
pitcher. Probably not.
no, because you, as a hitter, like you know that pitcher has a ton of pressure on her. It's almost like you're betting on she's not gonna throw me a strike.
Or in my head, I'm saying if it's like me, maybe.
And swing and miss.
But if it's 3-2, then obviously whatever's close, I
I just
would
wonder
swing
because I mean, in my head, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'd want to be a hero.
You'd want to hit the grand
it.
slam.
You'd want to smash
I
it,
want to
but
smash one. I mean,
that's
hopefully
just
the coach
you.
is giving me like this, which means take. Like, you are not
Yeah.
swinging here. And that's going to be where I missed the sign that my coach gave me.
Yeah.
yeah, no. 3-1 count, bases loaded. I'm watching it all day.
So, Mad, you didn't. We'll talk about this a little bit. You didn't get to make it with us this past week to the
Alabama
State
State games. I was so sad.
and we try not to tell you too much because we want to share with you mostly on
Yeah.
there.
And now I want to hear all about it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Well,
so
it was fun. So that'll be
no. Day
Maybe
one.
you shouldn't tell me about it because then maybe I'll be jealous that I didn't get to go.
well next year. I don't care. I mean, truthfully, I'll tell you all this right now. Every softball team should be trying to get in that tournament next year.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was that much
Yes.
fun, and like give Griffin them a real problem. Make them find out where to put 500 softball teams.
Literally, yes.
Because the environment and stuff, like, and the gold medals, like, it was so much fun.
So much fun. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and start out by day one, like day by day.
Yeah.
You know,
All right,
because I don't want to give too much.
So day one, we had, I want to say the event started around like 3, like
yeah,
part of it.
3 or 4.
So we left Mobile. We went up Friday. Almost killed Claudia like maybe 9 times.
Traffic was horrible. I
Yeah.
thought I was going to die.
I took Madison's car, so the brakes. I didn't want to have my stick shift like in the traffic, so the brakes were like a little bit,
Ugh, it
just
was
a little
rough.
soft.
Yeah,
and
and
then,
talk about you trying to put your car in gear, but you're in a normal car, not.
Well, Claudia learned what that felt like.
I wanted to kill you.
Yeah, she's like,
I was like, let me out of this car right now.
she's like, can you pull over this next rest area? I was like, sure.
We pulled over all right.
So when I pull out the front,
It was so embarrassing.
and I use my left foot on the brake as a clutch,
And I mean, just
slid
boom.
like that far. Just,
And everybody was looking at us. It was packed.
I was like, what's up, guys? We're from the Don't Suck podcast.
That's hilarious.
Y'all want to get interviewed? I only did it once, though, that week. So we finally get up there. We got to the hotel.
Yeah.
We changed. We went down. We stayed north in Gardendale.
Yeah, something like that.
And then we went down. It was at Legacy Arena.
The Legacy Arena, but since we were media crew, we had a separate entrance
Yeah, we
and
had,
had to get our bags checked and stuff. And
Bougie.
Yeah, it was
we had
awesome.
Passcodes. We had to
Yep.
pay for it.
Yeah.
And then I got, well, they didn't even make us put the passcode in because when we got there, I was like, the gates were up. So I went up to like, hey, I need to make sure I do this or it's going to charge me $40.
Yeah.
No, you don't need it. I'm like, I kind of need to do that. I don't want to get charged $40 for this. But
Yeah.
so we got to the door. We had to get our bags checked. We got little media stamps on there.
Yeah, it was so cool.
We walk into this arena
And it's
massive,
huge.
and it's like Fox is there working it,
Yeah.
and like they got their shirts on their polos.
And actually, we talked to one of the news guys, and he was actually from Mobile. He used to work,
that's
work
right,
for
WKRG or something.
Yes, he
That's
did.
correct.
Yep, it was awesome.
Yeah, and but we walk in like I was like, there's like maybe 20 people there. Like
Yeah.
a couple over here. Nobody's like kind of mixed. They're all like working, you know.
Yeah,
So we walk in. I was like,
working hard too.
yeah, we're like, dang, where all the kids at? Because we seen kids coming in through another door, but we had to
Yeah.
go to another entrance. So we just started like, we walked in there like we owned it.
Actually, yes. Let me tell him this. So I look at Ronald and I was like, do you know if Griff is there? Or Griff, what did I say? If Griff is here?
It's like, hey, is Griff here? Is he here? And I said, I don't know, but we are.
And I got it on video too. I
Yeah.
can put the clip in.
And so we get up there, like the stage was also this big, like where they lit the torch at
Huge.
and stuff. They had all the drum things. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, what are we going to do for 4 hours?
Yeah, because we had to wait for the main event, which was
Yeah,
at 7 or
we had
8.
no clue where they were.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause
And we
seen
saw all the
people-
kids.
So we thought they were like in private rooms, and Griff wouldn't answer the phone because Griff's a
I
celebrity.
mean, he was busy.
He's a celebrity. He has no reason to answer my phone. Let me tell you how unprepared I was. I'd be like, hey, dog, we just pulled up. Hey, we're at the softball park, man. Where you at? He's like, bro, I got 27 sports to be doing. So we were starving. We hadn't eaten all day. So
Yeah.
I said, hey, let's go to Subway, which is, we went out to this lady, and it looked like it was like right here. So we walked to the lady right here. I was like, hey, how do we get there? She's like, you got to go like this to get there. So then we walk out. It was started sprinkling. We're like, we got computers and gear and all. And I'm like, this is what are we doing? So when we come through, we went the wrong way. It's like started raining. So we come back to like get underneath something. And this guy's
Thankfully.
like, the security guy, like over the road. He's like, where y'all trying to get to? I was like, Subway. He goes, man, go through there.
Yeah.
So we did, and then we found all the kids.
All the
hot, and
people.
It was,
Yeah.
they're like in a completely different place.
Yep.
And walk in there, they give us we had our bags. So I was like, oh, we're part of the media, you know. We're crew, and
Yeah.
and it was packed. It was like tons of people. They had all
Vendors.
the vendors like giving out, you know, stuff, and we'll have to do that next year. That it was
Yeah, we will.
we were like a little jealous, you know.
Yeah.
So then we
Well-
went and ate Subway, come back, and kind of talked to like the USSSA guy,
Yep.
the new adult softball league, you know, the pro league, and then they did 10 call outs for the sponsorships, $1,000 a piece. And I watched this 8-year-old kid win. I thought it was like a little 8-year-old girl or something. I wasn't sure.
Girl, wasn't
Not
it
a
a boy? though?
girl. It was a boy.
I wasn't sure, man.
You're
He's
so
gonna
mean.
he's gonna laugh. They were
And,
funny.
So all that gets done, and then they're like, you know, we wanted to walk through. Like we really didn't want to just be in there like snapping pictures and video. Like we wanted to kind of be around everybody. So we go in there. It's like, where do we need to go? And Griff said, just go to the south side because you know we're from the south.
South region, yeah.
South region. Well, South region was like the smallest division. Let's change that. And so they had the out-of-state teams in there also, and it happened to be we got behind this team from Tennessee, like a wrestling
Team.
and the little 8-year-old girl was actually a 15-year-old, 6-year-old boy,
They were the funniest people ever.
so
Like
much
they were
fun.
hilarious.
which kind of led us to go in and watch them because,
Yeah.
and I'm thankful we met them because
Yes, because we would have
went.
never experienced
I
that.
never would have thought wrestling was fun, and it was.
Yeah, we'll get into that in
Yeah.
a second.
So then we come through. We I got to tell you about this one Karen.
Oh my gosh.
because we got to talk about the messy stuff.
Yeah.
So everybody's loud in there. Like everybody's having a good time, and I'm not saying like they're screaming. They're just like if
Everybody's excited.
If there's 3,000 people in here talking, it's going to be loud.
It's gonna be loud. Yeah.
Nobody is like directing it. Nobody's saying like, "Hey, y'all don't do this," or "Y'all calm down." They're just kind of coming through and say, "Hey, y'all excited for this?" Everyone's like, "Yeah."
Kind of like pumping us up.
Yeah,
Really.
and then they come through and say, "Hey, y'all, when this happens, we'll direct y'all." Nothing crazy. Well, then some like guy like whistles like really loud. So you like turn around, like, okay, must be something important. He's like, I can't hear nobody. He was like, there's nothing to hear. Like, we're all having a good time. Well, then a few minutes goes by, and I have these folks on video because I was like,
I mean, I was walking around video and everything, so they're clearly on video.
so the whole time they're talking, just like everybody
Like
else.
to each other.
just like everybody else.
Everybody
Yeah.
else is. They're hollering, they're laughing, they're screaming. Well, then the people down there on the other side of the like doing megaphones, probably being like, "If you're getting hyped, throw your hands up or raise your flags." And then she's like, "Hey, everybody, shut up! I can't hear them." I'm like,
Are these like parents?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like people, I'm like,
Yeah.
it killed the whole vibe. And I was
sure.
like, "Ma'am, I've got you on video the whole
And then
time."
they go back to talking like
and then
after
she's
she
like-
yells.
and
they're-
then, but like, there's people like around her that were embarrassed too. It'd be like somebody like going to a restaurant and be like, "This isn't good." Like, or,
Yeah, like
yelling
being-
at the
doing too
server,
much
like,
at the-
something like
yeah.
your food. It was just so they were like, "Look, like, man, this is kind of awkward." Well, then they got done when everybody was like, "All right, lady." She's like, "What? I mean, I can't hear what they're saying." It's like they're telling them to pump it up. Like, get out of here with that. So anyway, we go through the thing.
It's called an athlete's march. So that's
it was-
essentially what they were doing is walking from the area that we were in straight to the Legacy Arena, which was where we started out in.
And it was like
so,
you would like go, and then it would be like a big break. And,
Yep.
I mean, the whole thing, I can't explain. It was just so everybody's having a good time. So then
Yeah.
finally, we kind of got to where we're like all kind of like in this little tunnel, and like, hey, let's go get out in front of them for we can video them coming in. Well, that whole tunnel led us back to the main Legacy Arena where we started at.
yeah.
Madison, we come in there. There's camera, like these lights, just doom.
So y'all are on TV?
I mean,
Probably we are. Yeah.
They probably zoomed in on y'all were like famous Ronald and Claudia walking in here.
I did like this. and here we are. I have my iPhone. Media crew. Media.
I had my DJI, so I looked a little bit cooler than
Yeah.
you.
But it's still like holding that. It's like holding this remote. It's like this.
Yeah, but it's compact. It's made for a reason.
Yeah, but then there's like some guy who's got
This big old thing that he's like
Comparison-
got on his shoulder.
he's got a Segway thing. He's like riding around the arena doing this, and me and Claudia like this.
See, you're the only one that cared about that. Comparison is a thief of joy. Like,
Okay, that's one of my favorite quotes too. But so don't take it.
Oh my gosh.
I like that quote.
I'm just being serious. Like,
So, but I will tell y'all next year I'm gonna have a cool camera.
oh my gosh,
dude.
he's
I
gonna
don't-
have the best thing ever.
No, I don't need the best. I just want a big
Yeah, you are.
camera.
You're bougie.
I want the big. I want to have like somebody
You-
else.
yeah.
I want somebody else to hold it for me, and I just be like click it.
Oh my gosh.
That's bougie.
Yeah, very.
But so we come in. It was awesome. I mean, these teams are coming in there. Everybody's cheering. You had the drums. These people had these like masks on, and you could see like where the torch is going to be at.
It was amazing.
We come in. I'm like, man, let me get out of these folks' way. But then I realize
You're media.
They're in our way.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Look, we come around like to the middle, and then you can hear
Y'all
like,
talking about me bragging.
Look, we come around to the middle, and then you hear like live from the Legacy Arena. It's like you're on TV.
live
Yeah.
TV.
and they're sitting right there. And then look, I'm like, hey Claudia, probably need to go up there if we can get some imaging.
Yeah,
and
he's
blah.
like sending me to go video.
So then I put my hand on this concrete
Oh my
column
God.
thing that looked concrete, and,
And let me keep this in mind. This was not there whenever we got there in the beginning.
I
So
thought-
you should have known it was a prop.
well, I didn't remember that. And
Okay,
So when I put
well.
my hand, on, I said, whoa, whoa, and I hear him live from the Legacy Arena. It's the yellow. I'm like, whoa, don't fall, don't fall. Look at it.
And there's people around like just staring.
Oh, I don't know if anybody's seen it.
They
but
did.
I can feel that it's like booting the ball when everybody's watching.
Yeah.
And
You
so,
can feel the blood go to your face.
immediately was
You're
like,
just
hey, I'm gonna go over here in this corner.
He like hid
Claudia,
out for like an hour.
and if you don't mind, go get some good video imaging. And then,
And
like,
I did.
and after like 30 minutes, Griff come over. He's like, hey, in like 15 seconds, every mascot that's in within 1,000 miles is gonna bust to that door. You might want to move to the next corner. So I did. And then they come right out of there. But
I sure did.
the show was awesome. It was so cool because then they had like the hype songs going on, and then there was someone who sang that song like "Believer."
Yeah, it was like a whole concert after.
I want to say it was like the 1996 like actual torch they used like during the Olympics. It was cool.
It was
because
awesome.
they had the Alabama State games or the Alabama Player of the Year baseball or male and female.
Yeah.
Who like walked around the circle, and that was really
It was
cool.
so beautiful.
Then they lit it up and like fireworks went off, and
It was
then
awesome.
Everybody come down on the floor.
And then it was a concert.
Yeah, it was a concert.
Yeah.
And they gave away like 20 more scholarships that
Scholarships.
night of $1,000.
Yeah.
And it's all random. It was. Everybody needs to go back to that next year. And
for
look,
sure.
there was only a few softball teams there for that. And then like the next day we found like when I was talking to
So
people,
much more.
they were like, oh, we didn't even know that was going on. So,
Yeah.
or maybe they didn't realize how big that was. I
Yeah.
think that's probably more it because how like we've had that where they have like some type of thing
Opening
the night-
ceremony, and you're like, no,
"I'm
we
not
don't need to
going
go."
that."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this you should have went to.
It was so fun.
It was. And then so we finished the night off there. We kind of, once that was going on, we tried beating the traffic just a hair. Got out. Did we even eat? I don't think so. We were like,
I don't even know.
we were already kind of whipped. Got to the
Yeah.
hotel, and about 12:30 that night,
Gosh.
there was a
I'm dead asleep at this point, y'all.
there was a bed bug in the hotel, so we had to burn the hotel and run.
No, we didn't.
And so
Burn the hotel.
we were like in the parking lot, had to get our money back, and everything in Birmingham's like booked. And
Yep.
so we're like, what are we gonna do? And so we were like calling. Everybody it was either $900 a night or they had no vacancy. So then
Yeah.
Mom found one in Bessemer, which was fine,
Mm-hmm.
the finest hotel I've ever been at. It was a Candlewood Suites and a Holiday Inn Express together, so you could have like extended stay because obviously Birmingham's been doing road traffic for like 400 years now, so then those people need places to stay. And then the next day we started off, we went to Fultondale High School. We went and seen the wrestling team wrestle. And
Yep.
it was like, hey, we're going to be like 15 minutes. I just want to let them know, hey, man, we appreciate y'all being nice to us last night. Nope, we were there for like 2 hours. We couldn't leave.
Couldn't leave because first of all, I've never experienced wrestling. I've never even watched it. So to be in that type of intense environment was crazy. Like it was awesome. My adrenaline, like their adrenaline had my adrenaline pumping. So like I'm able to get on the mats and stuff and get low and get footage and stuff. And it was just incredible.
I got low on the mat one time.
And you
then
didn't get back up.
I had to roll off. Yeah.
Did is it like just one little match at
no,
once?
It's
No,
like
there's like multiple
Probably like
mats.
6 mats. Like
So think
six
of like a basketball
gym.
gym, like a gym basically,
They had these
with
mats
just
spread
mats
out.
set up everywhere.
And
So
each
that's what
mat
it was like.
Probably like 20 by 20. So,
Yeah,
it had
and it had
in there.
a circle around it, so obviously I had to stay outside of that. But like,
Well, I got
you had to
in
be
there.
very careful too, because all of the mats are like, connected. So it's
Yeah.
like I had to be aware of if there were like 3 other matches behind me. I was
yeah.
constantly watching, making sure I'm not about to get tackled by some kids.
Yeah.
Like,
But one thing cool that we
So-
learned was that female wrestling
Yeah.
is the #1 growing sport right now.
that's awesome.
And I mean, it was fun.
It was so fun.
I want to go back. Like
I do too. I
I've
want to
actually
go
been
watch some
watching
wrestling.
YouTube videos of wrestling.
Yeah.
But the team we went and like kind of watched just because they were there, we did end up watching them. Like they face a tough team. Too.
Yeah.
But like
Did
the
they
next,
win?
They
Or
didn't
how
win.
did
I don't
that
know how
work?
because the first day was like a teams thing, and they did. I don't think they medaled there, but the next day a lot of those guys did medal. You know, and they had
medal,
individual.
that's what it's called. I was wondering because
Yeah.
those people, I guess people y'all met, were talking about saying something, how they medaled or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what
Yeah.
does this mean?
Yeah, and so that was cool. I got a video of the little 8-year-old girl, winning his match. And
What was his name again?
I don't know. I mean, I know what his fake name is on Instagram. But so we left there.
What?
Well, he that's what he kept saying. He's like, "Oh, that's not my real name on Instagram." Kids probably like
They were funny.
He's probably catfishing girls or something. With it.
Probably.
But we left it. Oh, what about the guy who slammed the other guy on his head like 4 times?
Oh yeah, that
too?
was
It
y'all. It
intense.
was crazy. Like I really want to go watch it again.
don't
And
think I
and the
could
thing,
ever watch
it's not rough like that. None of this was like. It's not like watching UFC or anything like that. It's very.
It just gets your heart pumping because you're like, oh my gosh, who's gonna win this? Because
and they
it's
talked
just so like up in
much
the air.
smack the night before when we got there, and it was like a fight not like they're all fine until they realize 3 more matches, it's my turn.
Yep.
And at that point, it's like AirPods in, don't talk to me. And I'm like, you nervous? I asked him, I said, you nervous? He's like, yes, sir. But then I remember like Mike Tyson saying that, like, if you ain't nervous, you shouldn't be in that ring.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we left there. This is still day 2. We left there, went to the Moody Miracle League.
Oh, it was wonderful.
That was, I want to find a way to support that in any way I can going forward.
Me too.
Because that, you know, it's kids who, you know, are less fortunate, like or, you know,
Special needs. But are the happiest people
Yeah,
I have
man.
ever met.
I posted like
So
a short
happy.
little TikTok of the one guy hitting a home run. There were several home runs.
They
That's
were
so
so
But like
cute.
he come around like he's so happy.
So
you know?
happy.
And we come in there, you know, I did my little stupid, let me tell y'all, I hear people tell me like, oh, you do good. You have a radio voice. You do this. And I do appreciate that. It makes you feel like a little bit good.
Yeah.
But when you got that mic, you're like, well, what's up, everybody? It's Ron. I'm day 1. It was the first couple times it was
Yeah.
awkward. So we do that. And then we start walking into it. And this guy, he's like, you better back up. I'm like,
From
are you
what?
talking to me, dude? Like, I'm on the outside of the fence. He's like, this boy can hit. You better back up. So then they brought like the little thing out, and he's like, go to the center field, and he
Yeah.
smokes one like 30 foot over my head.
Yeah.
And but I mean, they can play some sports.
They can.
And then we ran into the guy. I didn't tell you this, but the night before at the when it was like the hype time, like the concert was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Obby the Tiger was there, and this guy like comes up to me and like hugs me. He's like, Obby. And I'm like, I'm not Obby. But
He was
he's
so
like,
excited.
He's like, over there.
It was so cute.
But the next day when we got there, when I walked up, it was his mom was like, you're the guy. I thought you were his caretaker last night. You know, last night I was like, She's like, I'm so sorry. I said, it didn't bother me, you know. But
Yeah, it was cute.
His name was Mitchell.
Yeah.
And he loved like Mario, like Bowser or something like that. So when he would hit
Yeah.
the ball, he'd throw them hands up. I have to see if I can't find a video. He'd run around the
We have
bases.
the video.
Bowser.
Oh my gosh.
But
So cute.
they were so much fun, and it kind of made me feel. We kind of get into this a little bit later, but I remember the announcer. They're all very encouraging. Like
Yeah.
they got really good help out there, and that's one thing I did hear too is there's not a lot of help.
Yeah.
So that's somewhere that we need to put our time and try to figure out how we can do that, even if it's something locally here, but or team up with them and find out, you know, something that we could do. I'm sure there's something, but
Yeah.
I don't think my heart's ever felt as happy.
No,
Like
same.
in that moment, they had
Yeah.
so much fun, and then talking to like some of the parents, like they don't do enough of it, and then talking to like some of the people who help, it's because they don't have enough help. So, but one thing they say at the very end of those games is, you know, every game kind of ends like in a tie, but they said, let's line up, let's shake hands, and let's be friends. And I thought to myself, like,
Love that quote.
man, we could. Any softball game I've ever been to, especially like 12U and under, could really live
Really,
by that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a few hours later, we're like, come on, let's line up, shake hands, and be friends. It got wild.
At the eight, it was the 8 and 9U that did it for me.
Dude, the 9U kids are
They
good.
can throw the ball.
That's insane.
I've never seen 9U like that. So we end up going to
Bill Noble Park,
Bill Noble
which
Park.
is the softball parks.
which were the softball field. We didn't get
Yep.
to make. There were so many things we wanted to go to. We just didn't have enough people.
Didn't have enough people. Didn't have enough time. So
And then we get there. Absolutely beautiful park. The
best park I've ever been to, hands
yeah.
down.
The layout, the parking. Like I'm
just
sure if I
beautiful.
had like 18 wagons, because remember those stairs we went down? Did they have a?
Nope.
I don't know how you would have to just go down the
You had to go down
grass.
the stairs.
Well, I'm
Or
saying if you had like
grass.
a wagon.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but it was beautiful. I mean, there's a picture of us like at the Gardendale. Like it says Gardendale of
Yep.
Big Claudia. And like the whole park, like the landscape, all this construction. Like, why do we not have that around here?
It
Yeah.
looked really nice in the
Like,
pictures.
why?
and
I
stuff.
mean, we're so big. I don't get why Mobile, like this area, gets no support like that in any
Yeah.
sport. You know, we have like the Daphne Sports Complex, but this place, I mean, there's more. I'd say the fields are nicer probably in general, but the layout at that place blows that Daphne Sportsplex out of the water.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And so we set up that day. We took like pictures. We went and took a lot of video. And for us, you know, we grew 15-20% in growth from like our podcast and social
Yeah.
medias and stuff. We didn't really do anything to advertise. It was every now and then somebody would be like, hey, what are y'all here? Like, who are y'all?
Because we had our media passes and like cameras out and like filming and stuff, people would ask us like here and there, like, what are y'all here for? And we just tell them a little bit about the podcast. Heck, I even met some people from Saraland.
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah, from Sarah Lynn.
Hey, we didn't
So-
get like recognized, but somebody
Kinda.
did. We were like talking to somebody. I was like, "Oh yeah, we're part of the Don't Suck podcast." Well, he goes, "Oh yeah, I follow y'all." I'm like,
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. And then the second day,
Yeah.
we were videoing these girls. Some of the sweetest kids. There was 2 11-year-old girls there that were playing like 15, 16U.
Really good. Really good kids.
First of all, you would have never known it. They were so
They were
tall.
yeah, they were about my height.
But one of them's sister played, which was a pitcher at Florida, and then the other one's dad was an assistant coach at Auburn.
Yep.
So
that's
It was neat.
they kind of know
Yeah.
the direction of where they're headed to. But,
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. And then at one point, somebody was like asked me. I had that little gimbal thing of Claudia's out. They said, "Are you vlogging?" I was like, "I'm a lot more important than that." And she's like, Claudia said, "We own this. We have this podcast, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "You should follow us." Well, then the girl scanned it. She's like, "I already do." That was cool too.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
So, but outside of that, I mean, we stayed at the ballpark from that day 2 and day 3. We didn't get to watch anybody medal in that aspect because the games got so late. But
Yeah.
next year will be a lot different. You will
Yes.
definitely be there, whether you're playing softball or you're working that event. Because
Oh, I'm
She's
gonna
gonna be
there for
working
sure.
yeah, because what we want to do is go forward. Like we want to have our tent set up, a table set up, and we want to have mics and stands set up, and then we
Yes.
can bring players in. Because girls, I mean, I'm sure the boys too, but the girls love to come on and like interview. And so our quick pitch questions that we do now, we're gonna have those all scaped out, and so
Yeah.
players can sit down with us, come on for 2-3 minutes, but have it like really planned out because they absolutely love it, And outside of that, like the weekend was like a 10 of 10. It sucked that you weren't there.
Yeah, I was sad I couldn't go.
Yeah, I mean that.
And I was like, I texted you and I was like, hey, let me know how it goes. And you're like, I'm sure you're going to see posts about it. I'm posting a bunch. Then I'm just sitting here and there's like I know y'all are really busy.
Oh,
but
we
there
were
wasn't a lot of posts to
slammed.
look from. So
Slammed. No time to do anything.
Look, Claudia had to quit on me the second night.
Dude, I was done for.
Because we just did this all day.
All
And
day.
she said,
okay, we forgot to tell the people this. I forgot my No Bull shoes, which is my shoes
yeah.
that I wear everywhere, and I can stand on them all day long, and my feet won't hurt, my legs won't hurt, my knees won't hurt. I forgot them, so I had to go buy some shoes that were not as comfortable, brand new, because you really have to break shoes in.
Yeah.
I was miserable, like my feet were hurting, which made my knees hurt, like everything was hurting.
Yeah.
So I was done for. Checked out.
I fought through the pain. I took some Advil and
Sure.
just dug deep.
because you told me about how rough your day was. Not your day, but your body was.
Oh, the next day, like there was nothing but sleeping in.
Yeah.
But when we were there, she's like, I'd go here, I'd come back, I'd go here, I'd come back. And she's like,
Man, I was sitting down.
She said,
I was hanging out.
She said, "Hey, where are you about to move to now?" I was like, "Over here, real quick." She's like, "I'm gonna stay right here, all right?"
I'm telling y'all, I was hurting. Had I had my shoes,
it was.
yeah, I would have been
Well,
better off.
I don't know if you would have been better off or not because
I would have.
We had never stopped. It was like from the
Yeah.
time we got up, it was just going, going, going.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the breakfast at that Holiday Inn Express,
So good.
Well, I can't wait to eat there whenever we go.
like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Them cinnamon rolls, gosh, dog.
Yeah.
And the omelets, everything there was
Y'all
good.
enjoy it.
Well, look, I want to remind y'all that we are giving away a shirt this week. Did I already tell them that?
I don't remember.
Well,
Tell them again.
Yep, I have
They need a
we have a
reminder.
couple different graphic design shirts that we did. Did I say graphic design? A couple graphic tees. They are our drip edition.
That sounds weird. Graphic tees.
Isn't that what it's called?
Graphic tees. Yeah, that's what
I
they're
mean, I'm
called.
trying to get cool, man.
Just say
Yep.
t-shirt.
Anywho,
The graphics, and we went with the drip scheme, like the Miami Vice, the pink and the blue.
beautiful.
So all you have to do is go follow us on YouTube, and then share our link on YouTube and tag us in it, and that will put you in for it. I think we're gonna give away like 2 or 3 of these shirts. So y'all do that. Go like, go follow, share with your friends. Ladies, thank y'all so much. Y'all have anything for them?
Don't suck.